For a soft sky like this, we're starting with some water. I'm just going to wet the page. This is a very wet in wet sky, and that gives it this a lovely soft feeling. I'm using a Haki brush for most of it. Starting to drop in some raw sienna, which is the base color, and I've also added a tiny bit of a warm yellow just to give it a little bit more warmth. There you go, I'm picking it up, putting that into my raw sienna. And I left a little bit of dry paper just where the sun is there, but everything else is pretty wet. And that means that the pigment obviously disperses beautifully and gives us these soft transitions between the different colors. So back to the Haki brush. It's natural hairbrush. This one's a goat's hairbrush. It just helps with dispersing the pigment. You don't get any brush strokes. I'm picking up a little bit of magenta into my raw sienna yellow mix. That gives us a bit of an orange glow. Just a bit of variety into the sky. If you paint skies with more defined clouds and that's not as soft as this, then yeah, you can use a different brush. But for these wet and wet applications, these are just fabulous brushes. You should definitely own one of those. And I have done a whole video on that previously as well. All right, I am now ready to drop in my sky blue, which is ultramarine blue with a bit of cerulean. I'm making that quite strong because we have so much water on the paper already that it will dry a lot lighter, 30% on average, but if you're working wet and wet, it can be even sometimes 50% lighter. So what you see is not what you get. And now I've added in a tiny bit of my brilliant orange into my sky mix, which tipped it into a purpley grey. Adding your complementary color will obviously mute your color. So my blue with a bit of orange gives me that beautiful grey, and I just dropped in some of those soft grey clouds on the right. And now I'm just strengthening a bit of my blue pigment, just dragging a few marks through the clouds. And because I'm on a slight angle, the blue is drifting down into my horizon line, and I do want to have a band of light just above the horizon because I'm going to add in a few clouds in there in a minute. So I'm going to have to tilt my board up so that the blue runs back. And now I'm just going to gently massage the pigment around in a shape that I want. Actually, I'm going to turn it upside down just for a little bit, so that it stops my blue running further down. One of the exciting parts of this sky is that where the sun is, I have a little bit of a hard edge and everything else is soft, and that's another concept I talk about quite a bit, is that contrast between the edges. Where there is a hard edge is where the eye goes, becoming the focal point. I've started to paint those bottom clouds in with a thicker grey, because we need more pigment now because there's so much water. I don't want those to run too much, but I'm using the same colors I've used thus far, but I can't paint those clouds upside down. So I had to turn my board back around because it's all going to be finished quite quickly. This whole sky, as you can see, has taken me just under 10 minutes. I've cut out a few bits here and there. That's what the great Robert Wade, Australian painter, said. Is a sky shouldn't take more than 10 minutes, especially on this smaller size of painting. Otherwise, you've overworked it. And I stopped just in time. Just going to add a few more dollops of grey into those clouds on the horizon, and then I'm going to stop. I'm really happy how this turned out. And if you're interested in the rest of the painting, then that's over on the Patreon page, where I also talk about how I actually got to the composition and decided on this particular sky. So hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.